Who goes first? Because I can tell. I want to talk about the first time I met you and the circumstance, and you can tell me if you even remember, because I remember vividly.
Do you really?
Oh,
the very first time we met.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Well,
Okay.
because and I actually wrote about it in my book.
What?
Yeah, it's in my book.
I need to read Rob Lowe's book.
You do. I don't know. I've done two, and I'm not bragging. Well, I've done two of them, but I have done two, and I don't remember which one it's in.
Now I have to read them both
This
to
is just-
find out my mention.
See the way I work?
Oh my God.
See, I'm like, I just wanted to get two more. And I might even get you one signed. But, okay, so I am probably 13.
Right.
I'm at Malibu Park Junior High,
Okay.
and I want to be an actor.
Right.
I'm fresh from Ohio. I don't know nothing about nothing. But I'm in all the school plays. I'm in everything, talent show. And there is for sure the most talented girl in the school was one of my best friends, Holly Robinson.
Right.
And Holly would sing Desperado.
Wow.
And Linda Ronstadt would come
Yeah.
and sit in the front row and listen to Holly sing Desperado. Holly's mother, and why Holly's mother isn't more celebrated than she is kind of I just don't understand.
She's like the Zelig of modern show business, Dolores Robinson.
Yeah, and
she knows everybody.
Dolores Robinson, I mean, a single African American mom.
Yep.
Raising two kids.
Moved here from Philadelphia.
Moved here from Philly.
Drove her green Volvo station wagon across country.
With a dream.
Yeah.
So, and she is, now I'm so unsophisticated at this time that I don't really understand that much about Hollywood or what Dolores was or does, but she was a manager.
Right.
And
I was her only client at the time.
Well, I would see around and she stopped me in the hallway. I can see it like it was yesterday. The upstairs outdoor hallway in the history building. And she said, I want you to meet someone because next week he will be the most famous person in the world. And it was you the week before Roots came out.
Wow. That's a good story.
And I remember, I just remember, and she was right. I mean, think about it. I mean, it's like,
well,
those are the days when that could happen.
Yeah.
Where literally overnight, truly overnight. Although
overnight.
You'd obviously worked, you'd always had a career.
No,
nothing.
No, Roots was my first professional audition.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I was a sophomore at USC studying theater, with an intention to graduate with a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree and move to New York and hustle my way onto the stage. That was my intent and intention. And I auditioned for Roots in early 76.
Oh my gosh.
Early 76. And that process went through the end of March. I did my first main stage role at USC. I played Ali Hakim in Oklahoma.
I played Will Parker.
Will Parker, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing, sir?
Damn glad to meet you.
Oh.
Wow. We need to take this on the road.
Didn't they call him a peddling man?
The peddler. Yes, that's the Ado Annie called him the peddling man. She sure did.
Ado Annie.
Yeah.
That was Will Parker's girlfriend.
Indeed she was. Madeline Smith played Ado Annie in the USC production, who went on to play opposite John Travolta in what was the cowboy movie he did?
Urban Cowboy.
Urban Cowboy.
I remember also that next week I remember you on the cover of Time magazine.
Right. Yeah, that was crazy.
What do you do? Where do you go from the cover of Time magazine in your very first audition? Talk about being shot out of a cannon.
Yeah, it was pretty extraordinary.
And, for the listeners who weren't alive for Roots and what it was, I mean, it was such a, I can't think of anything that was bigger. I mean, honestly, it was as big as Star Wars.
At the time it was.
For sure.
It had an impact. It made an impact. My very first day as a professional actor, Cicely Tyson played my mother.
Come on.
Maya Angelou played my grandmother.
Well, I'm sorry, who? I'm sorry, what?
Dr. Maya Angelou. played my grandmother Neoboto in Roots, and that very first day, those were my acting partners.
What?
I know.
I'm actually speechless now.
I was 19.
What was that like? Was there any poetry read? Please tell me. Was there any written? Is there a LeVar Burton poem in the archives?
You know what it was for me in those early days? It was being in the makeup trailer in the morning with those women, and just being in their presence was all I needed. I didn't have to eat or sleep. I just needed to be around them and just, absorb whatever I could. And it was like that for the entire 7 weeks. Moses Gunn, G2 Kambuka, Lou, all people that I had admired, growing up and seen on television. It was quite an extraordinary thing. And the weird thing is that I don't remember being particularly nervous. Because I knew, if I knew anything at that point in my life, I knew who Kunta Kinte was. I knew it. I knew who that character was, inside and out.
What do you think led to that kind of awareness?
Just my whole life, right? I just knew how this young man felt in any given situation. I just knew. I had that knowingness.
Isn't it? It doesn't happen, but it doesn't happen all the time, does it?
Oh, God, no.
Right?
No.
And then when it does, I'm not sure what to attribute it to.
I think there's I have felt a sense of, I guess, destiny.
Yeah.
In my life. I'm sure you do too. That there are things that have transpired that I could never have predicted. And I am in awe of, and the only thing I can attribute it to is that this was part of somebody's plan,
right? Yeah,
and it wasn't mine, not on a conscious level. Because if you had given me pad and pen and said, so draw it up, dream up your career, I would not have been this generous to myself.
Yeah, same.
Right?
Oh. Same. And, my first movie was The Outsiders, and that was a big movie. I thought all movies were going to be like that.
Francis Ford Coppola.
Yeah. I mean,
your first director.
Right?
Come on, man.
And you don't.
Come on.
I know. You just don't know. And it's that's why I love meeting up with, someone like you. I don't even know when the last time we physically laid eyes on each other.
Decades.
But decades?
Yeah.
Decades, right?
At least a couple.
Gotta be, right?
Yeah, sure.
And yet, what a history.
Yeah. And a sense of kinship. We haven't seen each other in eons, but you walked in the door, it was like, my God, let me hug this guy's face.